So Chance Leslie Englebert went missing on July 6, 2019 from Terrytown, Nebraska. He's a white male. He was 25 years old when he went missing. This one is very bizarre. He would be 30 years old now. When he went missing, he was 5'11", 195 pounds. He was last seen wearing a short sleeve button-down Wrangler shirt, blue Wrangler jeans, a belt with an NRCA buckle. I'm assuming that's some kind of rodeo buckle. Roper boots, and a black and white trucker cap. He has brown hair and blue eyes, and he does have a scar on his hip. So Chance was last seen in Gering, Nebraska on July 6, 2019. He actually lived in Moorcroft, Wyoming, with his wife and his baby son. But that day, they spent the day golfing in Gering with relatives. And I think it was her relatives, but I'm not sure. According to his wife, they went to her grandparents' house to pick some things up. But in the driveway at around 7:30 p.m., Chance just got out of the car and just walked away, and he never returned. So his wife last spoke to him at 7:46 p.m. He told her he was walking south, but he had also spoken to friends and said that he was walking north toward Torrington, Wyoming. At 9:08 p.m., his phone sent a text message that they said made no sense. They said it was just a series of numbers and emojis, just a jumble of things. It says Chance did not normally use emojis, and his mother thinks that the text was sent by someone else. So his cell phone last pinged off a tower on County Road 19, which was near the Riverview Golf Course, which is just west of Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. And shortly after that, the phone was turned off after that last contact. So a thunderstorm went through the area at around 9 p.m. And Chance's wife thought that he had probably gone into a nearby building of some sort to take shelter from the storm, from the weather. Her grandfather did go out looking for him, couldn't find him. He was seen on surveillance video walking alone at the intersection of Terry Boulevard and Stable Club Road in the Terrytown subdivision at 10 p.m. that night. After that, he has never been seen or heard from again. They say it is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. His wife does not believe he would have abandoned her and their brand new baby. An extensive search turned up no indication of his whereabouts. His case does remain unsolved. So if you have any information on Chance's case, you can call the Gering Police Department at 308-436-5089. And I do have, so one was just a short article. It said something about a new lead. Let me see when this article was from. This article was from, or is updated July of this year, 2024. It says there has been an update in the case of missing Wyoming man Chance Englebert. The former rodeo star went missing in Gering, Nebraska 5 years ago, has not been seen since, leaving behind his wife and young son. A new lead, get rid of these ads, places Englebert 2 mile, oh my goodness. Okay. A new lead places Englebert 2 miles from where he was last seen on surveillance footage on the evening of July 6, 2019. 2 tips have come through with a convenience store clerk who interacted with a man fitting Chance's description. A private investigator, Ryan Daniel, told News Nation Live that the lead confirmed that Chance was walking out in the storm, and it says having a tense conversation while at the back of the store. Now it's unclear with this article if it was having a person-to-person intense conversation or an intense conversation on the phone. It says the man alleged to be Chance did come in and purchase a drink and some tobacco. The private investigator said if he did leave the store between 8:30 and 9 p.m. that night, that would put him down there in that area, which we believe not only the area of incident, but the area of time. Chance's disappearance is focused on between 9 and 9:15 p.m. A second lead, I found this one very interesting. A second lead is also being explored after a witness contacted the tip line saying that two women in their mid-20s were seen in a state of panic and attempted to stop traffic in the vicinity that Chance had previously been before being picked up by a truck. So apparently he was picked up by a truck at some point. Or either, I don't know, once again, it's unclear if they were picked up by a truck or if Chance was picked up by the truck. So the private investigator says, according to an additional witness that was there, so now he says, so now we have two witnesses. These two females appear to know who the driver of the truck was, and they got inside. So apparently they got inside the truck after being in what they called a state of panic, trying to stop traffic in the vicinity of where they think Chance would have been at that particular time. So very interesting. He goes on to say, we think possibly they may have seen Chance. They may have seen somebody out that night, that time frame, and where Chance was when he went missing, we need to narrow down. Despite the new leads, much is still unknown about why and how Chance vanished. Dangle, the private investigator, believes foul play could be behind it. He says, of course, in my line of work, we never rule anything out. It's unfortunate, but foul play is still on the table. So that was just, I thought those, especially that could have nothing to do with, sorry, it got caught in here all of a sudden. Might not have anything to do with Chance, but the two women in a state of panic, trying to stop traffic. They got into a truck apparently with somebody they knew, and it was in the vicinity and the time frame of where Chance would have been. Could be something, could be nothing. I lost my, okay, that was the end of it. Okay, I think I had one more short article. Oh, we've already been on here, hour 20. Let me see. If I can get it to come up. Stop my camera for a minute. So this is from News Nation, and it is from March of 2023. A Wyoming family searches for son missing for 3 years. A Wyoming family is still searching for their missing son, last seen in July of 2019, and hoping additional reward money will encourage anyone who knows what happened to him to come forward. Chance Englebert, 25, grew up in Wyoming, a cowboy at heart. In 2019, he had a wife and a newborn son, and he was preparing to start a new job. Then, during a weekend trip with his family, he simply vanished. Oh, these ads keep popping up. When Englebert made a left turn down a side street in Gering, Nebraska, nobody had any idea that it was the last time they would see him. His grandmother, Linda Klunder, recently added $200,000 to a reward to help find him, bringing the total reward up to $220,000. My husband said, Linda, you can buy anything you want. What do you want? And I said, what I want, I can't buy. I want to find Chance. That is so heartbreaking. But so far, the reward money, unfortunately, has not resulted in any big breaks. Klunder says it's brought a lot of calls, but not anything that has panned out. Englebert was a former rodeo star turned family man. In 2019, he was spending the 4th of July weekend in his wife Bailey's hometown along with their newborn son. According to Gering police, Englebert spent July 6th golfing with his in-laws until he got angry at comments about his new job. So I was confused earlier, or when I first read the basic information about why he would just get out of the vehicle and walk away, but apparently it had something to do with this comments or something said by his in-laws, something about his job. According to Bailey, his wife, her husband called and said that he wanted to leave and return to their house in Wyoming. When she picked him up and drove to her grandparents' house instead, he got out of the car and started walking. So apparently, instead of going home, going back to Wyoming like he wanted to go, they went back to her grandparents' house, and he didn't want to go back there. So apparently, that is why he got out of the car and started walking and disappeared. So while walking, Chance called his best friend and best man, Matt Miller. Miller said he got in a fight with his in-laws, and he was wanting to come back to Wyoming to his house here in Moorcroft and needed a ride immediately. I was 4 hours away. It was just no way I could do that. Miller told News Nation that Chance did not appear to be intoxicated. He says no, he sounded upset. He wanted to get the heck out of Nebraska. And Chance allegedly called back and told Miller that he was walking to Torrington, which is 35 miles away. The last confirmed image of Chance is on a surveillance video where he appears to be following a map on his phone. His mother, Dawn Englebert, says, I relive it over and over every day. I see the video, him walking down the street on a surveillance camera, and I replay that every day, thinking I'm going to figure out where and why, but nothing's coming. The last communication from Chance's phone came at 9:08 p.m. It was a text with a grumpy face emoji and a confusing mix of letters, and shortly after is when his phone went dark. His mother says nothing on his phone after 9:08 p.m. Once again, a powerful storm passed through the area that night, causing some to suggest that Chance could have fallen into a swollen river. Miller rejects that theory. He says we put hours and hours and hours down there walking river bottoms. I don't think he's in a river. I think he's buried underground and he's hidden. If he got hurt by that storm, Mother Nature doesn't hide a body like that. That is true to an extent, but once again, just like trying to find somebody or remains in a heavily wooded area, it is also very hard to find somebody in a water also. Brian Eads, the lead investigator on the case, said they have enlisted outside investigators and canine teams. They have executed search warrants and conducted polygraph tests and are continuing to chase down leads. Eads said that Bailey and her family have been forthcoming and thoroughly investigated. He says all of the family members have been interviewed. All of their properties have been searched by law enforcement. Amanda Waldron volunteers as an investigator with the nonprofit group We Help the Missing. She told News Nation there is a long list of young men who have gone missing in Nebraska since 2019. That's interesting. She says it is definitely alarming. There are definitely some concerning circumstances, suspicious circumstances, random circumstances, although I don't find any of them fit the profile similar to Chance. No similarities except for the lack of answers. I do think because it is a less populated area, it is a lot easier to cover up a crime. A lot of people that are from the area protect their own. So going back to, was it the first case, Regina's case, where they said she was probably abducted, taken by somebody she knew, because there was no way that people, it was crowded streets. There's no way, basically little to no way that a stranger could have abducted her without somebody seeing something. Now, in my opinion, in this case, if he was walking down, Chance was walking down. Now, once again, it didn't say how busy the street was that he was walking down. It could be in that this was not a busy street. There were not a lot of people, and it is possible that somebody could have come up and grabbed him and threw him in a vehicle. Just a possibility. All right. I lost my place. Engelbert's Chance's family is hoping the additional reward money will help break that silence. Clunder, his mother, I believe, says there will never be closure. We lost our chance. There will never be closure on this. It would be helpful to have him in a place of dignity that he deserves to be put to rest properly. Absolutely. In 2021, a human bone was found near where Chance disappeared, but authorities have concluded it was not his. The case is considered active, and Eads said the police continue to get tips and follow every lead. Once again, anyone with information on Chance can contact the Gering Police Department at 308-436-5089.